Hey everyone, Hurricane Liz here, back for another Professor's Podcast, and with me, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Howie Ty. Howie, I know you're fired up for this guest this time around, and in a minute, we're going to tell everyone how they can get access not only to this guest live and in person. Like last time, I will say this much about this guest. Last time we got to meet up in Cabo, like this is almost a year and a half ago. We had a good time. So we're going to talk about that good time here in a minute. I know some of us would love to bury it, but Howie was in full force that event. Howie, how fired up are you not only to have Brendan again as a speaker, but also be able to catch up with him? Because I know before we were recording this, you were just pumped that he was the guest today.
Yeah, well, Brendan is the man, whatever he does, it succeeds. So he's like the Midas touch, we call it, right? Turns to gold, anything, everything. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and also like he was with us on like last mastermind in person, which was Cabo, and we like sat around like till like really early in the morning, talking, chatting, laughing, and talking about just anything and everything. I still remember that. Do you remember that, Brendan?
Oh yeah, especially that last night. That last night was pretty intense.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get somebody from Ireland to come into the mix. I mean, that was pretty insane. It was almost like a drinking war between her and a couple of the other attendees. People really thought that they could take the title away of the world's best drinking country. And let me tell you, I learned that night, never doubt an Irish man or woman's ability to chug down anything in their path. That includes beer, clear alcohol, as well as other colored alcohol, as well as just about anything in their path. You guys remember that was the last minute attendee that was just
I remember she flew to Cabo like last minute. I think she's the one that left her slippers in the room while we were still in there. Well, I don't know where she went, right?
Yeah, if Holly's out there, Holly, you should come to Vegas, girl. That would be the most fun that I could possibly ever think of. But, I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of people like that. And the best thing of all is it's live and in person, so you get to have a more intimate feel. And secrets do come out, people. Secrets come out. So I'm certainly excited about that. But let's go ahead and jump in with Brendan. Brendan, a lot has changed since we last saw you in Cabo San Lucas. What is it that you're looking forward to most by coming to this event? And just to let other people know, I will give more details about the event, which is October 4th and 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the end of this. But Brendan, what do you look forward to the most coming back after almost a year and a half now?
To be honest, it's, courses, there's only so much you can learn. Facebook groups, Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups, there's only so much you can learn. As we just talked about in Cabo, really, when you just start spending 2, 3, 4 days with somebody, have a couple of beers, you get to really be relaxed around each other. And that's when you really start opening up with each other. And that's where, honestly, the good information is at. There's some great information in courses and in groups, but when you sit down shoulder to shoulder with someone, I think that's when you get real honest feedback, not only about your brands or about someone else's brands, but maybe a tactic that they're doing that you're not doing, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. You also get a heck of a lot of shots in you if you're with the right people. So like I said, guys never can tell what's going to happen.
Yep.
So going back to where we were at Cabo San Lucas, Brendan, at that point in time, everybody was going bananas over chatbots and their ability to like pretty easily rank things. And we obviously talked about that would at some point, the results of that would kind of gradually decline over time. And that's somewhat been the case now. What is it that you've seen since then that you feel is the next generation of ranking that has completely fascinated you? Because as Howie said before, it's like you've got the Midas touch. So you've been able to not only build your own brands, but you have a terrific software. And what do you see in terms of what's happened?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this: the algorithm has not really changed. The algorithm is pretty much the same. It's always been. What Amazon has really gotten good at is fraud detection and bot detection and fake accounts and that of the like. So really what makes ranking working is unique, legitimate profiles. The higher the buyer score of a certain customer is, the better effect it'll have on that particular purchase. So if you're using a giveaway site and that customer has been denialist or black flagged by Amazon, they're not going to have an effect on your detail page. They're not going to have an effect on the algorithm. They're not going to have effect on your ranking. So even though you may rebate them and they may purchase it at full price, they had a big whopping, zero effect on your ranking. So what we've been doing is just really focusing on high quality customers, and wherever you get those customers, you want to make sure that they're high quality. So that's really what we've been focusing on, and that's what we target more than anything.
Right. And this question is for Howie, so we can get Howie in this conversation. Howie, it's been a long time that you've been talking about this buyer score. I can remember this going back to the events that I attended with you in China. But what is it that you're doing to sort of if you can give us a sneak peek at what you're doing to filter out these good buyer profiles versus bad buyers? What kind of techniques are you using, Howie?
So I think I've said about this buyer trust score I always coined. I'm not sure if I coined it or not. I just say it. But, I don't really look at buyer trust score in particular anymore because I'm doing more of the social side. So the social signals and social influencers and stuff like that to create these orders. And, so I don't really look into that because if you do rebates and everything, then you do really need to make sure that the buyer trust score is really solid. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have anything else to add to Brendan, Howie, here about this, what he's talked about so far?
Well, I talk to him quite often. I believe at least once or twice a month or something like that, seeing how he's doing and what he's up to. And, out of all my speakers, the hardest person to get on these masterminds is Brendan. He's so busy. He has so many things he's doing. He always forgets about us sometimes. So it's really hard for guys. You don't know what I do for you guys out there in the Amazon world. This guy is like the hardest guy to get on podcasts and even on the mastermind.
Yeah, Brendan, Howie has to pretty much wrangle you up is from what he's been saying about you lately. Tell me, since you're the person that he has to wrangle up, literally he's trying to get you on here as much as he can. What is it that you've been working on that we've not seen you? It seems like forever that we've seen or heard from you.
Yeah, honestly, it's just really doubling down on Amazon. I know that a lot of people teach to go outside Amazon. Me in particular, I try to just focus more on just because that's what I know. I'm kind of a one-trick pony per se. And so really, I spent the last 2 years or so with a goal, which was I want to grow my brand as much as I can, and I want to sell the brands. And I told myself this about 2.5 years ago. And unbeknownst to me, it was kind of perfect timing of the aggregator space coming up. And so, some of these aggregators are paying a premium for some of these brands if they're strong brands. So that's really what I've been focusing on. We've had a lot of calls with a lot of aggregators, and it's really trying to sell some of my brands and continue on. That's really what I'm doing, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to we talked about what chatbots and how chatbots have steadily it's somewhat declined. You're saying It's more about the buyer trust score and they're still working pretty well. What other forms of traffic, if any, are you using right now to help sort at least give some sort of variety instead of just straight up Facebook traffic?
Yeah. So when I say buyer quality, I don't really say particular where that traffic comes from. So for instance, I haven't run a Facebook ad in forever. So when I look at the buyer quality, it would be across all platforms, because at some point us as Amazon sellers begin to use the same sources eventually. So all it really is kind of a gateway. So as traffic comes in to I create my customer list, I just have a soft check against that customer to see if it exists in any other seller, or if they're using some sort of fraudulent phone number. So if I notice that this customer is in 3 seller accounts, then I'll skip over that customer. I won't use that customer because I feel like you're beginning to leave up in Amazon's eyes. So what I would do is say, okay, as this customer comes in, are they unique? If they are indeed unique, then I'm going to go ahead and utilize this customer. So that would be kind of step one of utilizing that customer and getting them to do what I need to do in order to affect the Amazon algorithm. And then of course you only want to do so much of those purchases. So it's really about a right balance. And I think that, with the data that brand analytics gives us, it gives us a really good understanding of where we need to be in terms of conversion. And so you have one side, which is, the traffic that I'm sending myself. And then you have the other side that is traffic that I'm sending, but is not 100% conversion. So if you take this side of your customer base and then you take, let's say, Google search ads, and you blend those things together, you want to really have a conversion percentage, and you want to land on that conversion percentage based upon the keyword that you're launching on. So for instance, if it's, if you notice that, running belt is 32% conversion, well, I know if I'm on the left-hand side, I can get almost a 1-for-1, 100% conversion. So what I need to do is use some Google search ads in order to water down the rest of that 100% and get it back down to that 30% range. So it's really about kind of really balancing traffic sources, and with the end goal of landing in that sweet spot of what Amazon's looking for, of that perfect conversion rate based upon the keyword.
That was a great answer. Howie, anything to add to that?
I agree with what Brendan was talking about, because I've been looking into more of the Amazon AI, how they look at things, which with machine learning and everything. So what I see is like Amazon is tracking all these conversions, as well as Amazon is seeing how these orders are getting placed. If all the orders are getting placed around the same time, like within the whole day, 24 hours, all the orders are coming in for within that 1 hour, then it looks kind of fishy for Amazon. So I have all the data on that, where we went through the AI training and stuff with Amazon and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting on how that looks and works, and what they look at on their detection system that they kind of have out there for the public to use.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's something that that's definitely next level stuff. And you guys heard it here from Howie. Says he got the Midas touch. So that's going to be exciting. Brendan, are you planning to speak about any of this at the event, or what kind of topics have you been kind of throwing around and thinking about speaking about?
I'll speak to.
Oh, but before you say anything, come on. I talked to Leo. He said he's going to up the game. He's going to win this time, right? He's going to win that belt. And then I talked to Corey. He says he's going to win this belt. So, and that's another thing, I guess, okay, so I went to a Kevin King's event. Everyone, like, he says, oh, this price, someone's like saying, hey, it's $100 if anyone could do this thing, So all these Amazon sellers didn't really do much and stuff like that. And then the sweet spot, I was like, everyone has a price. So what is our price to our speakers to make them really spill the beans? So I think that 7,500 can maybe get you to talk, you think? Because I know you, Puerto Rico, you have all this money and stuff. Is that the sweet spot?
Yeah, I don't have to pay taxes on the cash, right? Isn't that right? I don't.
Yeah.
I'll sneak it in my suitcase. I mean, $7,500 is pretty a sweet little price pot for sure. I think that even if the price pot was zero, I think that, again, guys, like going to one of these events where you're rubbing shoulder to shoulder with some of these high level sellers. Anyone who's doing 8 figures, they know the answers. And so really what you want to do is just go out and have dinner with them, and that information will drop for sure.
Yeah, go out and drink with them, Brendan. That's the better part. The better thing to do. Go out and drink with them. Howie likes Don Julio. Everybody remember that. Don Julio and him are best friends.
So let's go back to the question. What will you be speaking about? Or what do you have in mind?
I kind of can open up to you guys. Kind of let me know what your groups are really pushing for. I'm sure it's almost always ranking reviews. That kind of tends to be the number one. I do have some pretty sweet information when it comes to ranking during the honeymoon period. Things that we do in terms of like I said before, blending traffic, blending conversion rates in order to really hit that sweet spot. And it's not a silver bullet per se, but it's a really good kind of compass to know exactly what you should be aiming for. And if you can hit those targets, you pretty much should be hitting like a 98% success rate when it comes to launching products. So I think I could share that.
I think that's something what our audience wants to hear. Can you bring up? Do you remember what exactly was when we did a survey, Liz? What did they say they want?
Absolutely. The first three were external traffic was number one, ranking was two, and reviews was number three.
So,
It's always reviewed.
yeah. So what you just said really hits like all three almost. I'm sure that you could get a funnel for the review part, but the other two is what you were talking about.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and which brings me to another question that I just thought of is, what about products? It looked like Howie was laying back in the beach a minute ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. Howie, were you going to lay back in the beach there?
Yeah.
So, Brendan, what about products that just for one reason or another went completely dead? Is there still a way to bring those back? I know a lot of people have talked about once a product's dead, it's dead for good. But have you found a successful way to bring those back?
Of course. Do I share that here, or is that something we speak about?
You can be very general. You can be general. People will still appreciate that.
Like okay, let's just say this. There's a lot of ways that people are saying that they can bring it back to life. So maybe there's like 2 or 3 ways. Maybe people like we don't want to hear what you have to say, but let's hear from what I have. So people are saying that, oh, take out all the information on the listings and then submit it again, save it, submit again, put it back in, and then also like maybe even like X file, inventory loader file, exit, upload it, and things like that. Here, something similar to what that side where people are talking about. Is there anything else that you want to say that is different, but don't say it, but say you do have something or not on that?
I would say yes, because I would say a lot of those are centered around working with the same SKU or different SKU and using flat files. I think there's something else that you can do, and then after I say it, it's like completely obvious, and I think some people are doing it, but I think you just have to do it right in order for you to stay TOS compliant.
Yeah, so it's almost like people have to come to this event in order to ask.
No, this is what we want, right? We want that.
Yeah,
It's not a, but like what you said is like he was saying that he was a honeymoon and also ranking and stuff like that, and also like external traffic blending. Wow, that's something that I think would be really good. As well as, if anything, I kind of want you to win as well as the other ones, but I don't know who's gonna win because I don't have control over that. But if there is something where you can kind of put something with any SOP or anything with that, I think that might be the ballpark where you can push you to the winner side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think information is one thing, but either having an SOP or a file or a how-to guide that you can give yourself or give to your team is always something better to walk away with.
Right. So, Howie, you have anything else to add? I see you thinking over there.
I don't know. I think too much, but I'm okay right now. Go ahead.
I think a lot of people are also wondering what Howie's going to speak about. Howie, have you thought about what you're going to speak about? I haven't even heard this yet.
I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, so I will find out. I'm actually working on it these couple of days on my presentation, and I've been getting a lot of data. So I will let you know in a couple of days what it will be. I think a lot of people, well, everything is going to be revolving around external traffic. So that's what I could say so far.
Yeah, amazing. Brendan, you've been working, you obviously have a very successful software. You have very many successful Amazon brands. Can you tell us what you're working on possibly in your software, or what you guys are innovating in that, or are you just kind of just doing the usual thing over there?
No, we're pushing hard. So we actually have something in closed beta right now, which is completely innovative. Honestly, it's no other tool has it. Amazon tool has it on the market. So that we're kind of going completely left on in that directions. And then we're also going completely right in terms of our Chrome extension. We're releasing updates on the Chrome extension every 2 weeks. Like we have our real-time listing quality score check, and we have a lot of cool other features that have come out within the Chrome extension. We just kind of really listening to our customers. One customer said, hey, I really want to see my sales in real time as I'm on Facebook. I said, okay, we can do that. So now the Chrome extension shows you your sales every 15 minutes. So then they said, hey, we want to combine all of our sales. We have 15 seller accounts. Can we see all of our sales across all the seller accounts? And boom, now it's following you around, and as you browse different websites. And so honestly, it's really listening to our high-end sellers and getting feedback of what they want, and then designing that and rolling that out, almost for them, and then it kind of benefits the entire community. So yeah, the software is going in two completely different directions. I don't want to say too much, but we're really excited about our really big feature that we have launching, and we're hoping to have it done by this year. And I think it'll make a huge impact on the entire ecosystem for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing that we did forget to mention to the audience here, Howie, is the top prize for being not only the best speaker, but the smartest marketer. You want to tell everybody what they're going to get. First off, if they're the smartest marketer, which is anyone out there who attends the event and gives and shares one idea as voted by the other attendees, will get, I'll go ahead and reveal this one, $2,500 cash. But Howie, you want to talk about the absolute best speaker as voted by the attendees. How much in total are they going to get?
The best speakers in total, I believe it was 7,500, correct?
Yeah.
And can you read off a list, maybe a list of what are the attendees going to get? I actually don't remember. Do you remember exactly what the attendees?
I would have to go to the site, which I'll go to give people now. If you would like to attend the event, head on over to howardtai.com/elite 2021. Schedule a call. I do know that I don't know if there were any more VIP dinner tickets available, but the bonuses that Howie's referring to that every attendee will get, in addition to being able to rub elbows with the smartest, the most brightest people in the world, such as Brendan, you'll get these bonus. Bonus 1, TikTok's ads managed service for 1 month. Bonus 2, 100 verified rebate me orders optimized for Amazon's choice. Bonus 3, 15 Signalix PFR reports. Bonus 4, 100% personalized coaching. I'm not sure how many minutes you get on that, but we can clarify that with Howie. Bonus 5, 12 months free of ESS, which is Elite Seller Society, which is that a Slack group still, Howie, or what exactly is that?
It's a Slack group, and I also still have some on WeChat, but I'm trying to make it into some other group. Trying to figure out the where and how to have them.
Yeah, Discord's always a good option right now, but I don't know. I don't think people pick that. They still pick good old fashioned Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because a lot of people are using Facebook, and what would you? That's kind of hard. So switching around is bad. Yep.
Yeah. And the final bonus was micro influencer submission. So 6 fantastic bonuses and the ability to get to rub elbows with people like Brendan and Howie. Howie, do you qualify for the prize?
No, I don't think so. That wouldn't be fair,
He's being very fair. Well, amazing. I don't have anything else for Brendan. Howie, anything else that you have for Brendan before we say goodbye here?
So are we going to see the real Brendan come out and play like last time? I remember you were telling a story. Oh, he's just a very humble guy. You should have heard his story you should tell everyone where you came from, how you started Amazon and stuff. Brendan, I
think I've actually heard this story. He used to be the programmer, so I've heard this from him a while back.
No, not even that. Brendan, come on, tell people.
I know which one.
I can say it right now if you want me to.
Yeah, say it right now.
Is it the label one, Brendan?
Go.
What was that?
The label story?
Yeah, the label story. Story.
It's okay. Okay. Let our audience know, how did our Mr. Morris came out?
Yeah, so I definitely bootstrapped my way into Amazon, and so at first my parents make a candy confection every year for Christmas, and so it's called Peanut Brittle, and this was October of 2013, and everyone really liked it, so they said, "Hey, Brendan, why don't you try selling it on Amazon?" And I said, "Sure, I'll give it a shot." And so I threw it up on Amazon and it sold. So I invited my dad over and to show me how to make peanut brittle. And so he showed me how, and I started just ghetto style, making it in my 600 square foot apartment in Pleasant Hill, California. And I made peanut brittle for October, November, December. And I was working like 18 hours a day, making 2 batches at a time. And at the end of that Christmas, I said, hey, I made some great money, but I hated it. So I needed something lightweight, something that would last longer than, a couple of weeks. And they had high margins. So I said, hey, I should try selling supplements. So I had no idea how to sell supplements. So I ordered 10 empty white bottles from a website, and then they got them delivered to my house. I went to Fiverr.com. I got my logo designed for $5. I got my label designed for $5. And I still have it to this day. It's ghetto as hell. Then I went down to Kinko's and printed my label out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of sticky paper. I cut out my label and stuck it on my white bottle. Then I went down to Walmart and I bought 10 bottles of 6-star testosterone booster. And it was $9.99. So I opened them up, took out the pills out, put in my 10 bottles, and sent them off to Amazon. Sold them for $35 a piece, and it was FBM. And so my first order was 2 units to a FPO. I had no idea what an FPO was, and then so it sat there until it was overdue and needed to be shipped late shipment. And I ended up shipping the guy like 5 bottles as a sorry and a thank you. And that was my first sale of my supplements. And ever since then, it kind of skyrocketed from there. I actually went to a legitimate supplier after that, but that's how I got started, was just ghetto style, printing out my own labels and slapping them on a white bottle, completely not FDA compliant.
That's an awesome story.
Yep. So
awesome.
Yeah, I guess the moral of the story is just hustle, guys. So whether you guys got $400 or $5,000, selling it on Amazon still can be done for sure.
Yeah, that was the last question I was going to ask you, Brendan, because there's a lot of people here that we've had calls from that are people that are more mid-level, still haven't really figured everything out. Would you still recommend to a person like that to attend an event like this, where you've got a lot of high-level sellers like you, obviously, but you did bootstrap it? A lot of people don't know that about you. Would you still recommend that to those class of sellers?
Absolutely. And I'll add just a little bit of information on it, is that I'm definitely an introvert. And so I downloaded ASM2, and I was doing decent. I was selling, 1 to 5 units a day, and I was doing okay. And it wasn't until someone told me, say, hey man, like for you to really succeed, you're going to have to kind of mingle and get the good ideas. And so I ended up buying ASM3 myself, even though I already had ASM2. And so I think it was $5,000, the most expensive thing I ever purchased online. I was making $20 an hour. I had no money on my day job. And I ended up going to Las Vegas, ASM3 event. And it changed my life because I started mingling with other sellers. And there was like 3,000 sellers there. But at the end of the event, you kind of whittle down to the smart guys that go to the back. You start forming your own little mastermind. And so that's really what you want. You want that cream that rises to the top. And if you can just go to an event and the cream is already there, then it makes your life a whole lot easier. So, circle yourself around with the smartest people in the room and learn from them. And, you can absolutely still be successful on Amazon.
Yeah, and I think that's where we actually met. We met at ASM3.
It was. I think that was
We've known each other for quite a while.
Yep.
Oh, I have another story. Liz, you remember our first mastermind like 3 years ago, also in Las Vegas, the first one with Kevin King and everyone else? You remember there's this guy called Daniel S. He was actually at the mastermind Kevin King event. He says when he went to my mastermind, he actually, for some reason, he got through our filtering device where he actually doesn't know anything about Amazon. He says, I want to start Amazon. I'm going to just go and kick it with the best of the best right off the bat. And then now after 3 years, he already sold his company, his brand.
Wow.
And doing it and he's doing a full-time job as well during doing it within that 3 years. So he says that I was talking to him. He's like really I was like really happy to hear how how well he did, and he's really thanked me about this mastermind, that he really did mingle with everyone. He talked to Leo a lot, on the phone and stuff after the mastermind. He talked to a lot of the speakers, the attendees and speakers as well. So it's kind of really helpful for someone that even doesn't know about how to sell. You just have mingle, like what Brendan said, like mingle with the cream of the crop or something like that. So get up there.
That's amazing. So I'm looking forward to this event. It's going to be one of the best ones since we're coming back from all being on lockdown. So I look forward to seeing Brendan and a lot of other people. To find out more information about the event, head on over to howardtai.com/elite 2021. And I'm fired up for that. Howie, any last words before we say goodbye to Brendan and thank him?
No, no, I don't have any words right now.
Yeah, other than I get to Vegas. Whoever's out there still on the fence, get to Vegas. I'm excited. I know Brendan excited. Howie's excited. Again, it's howardtie.com/elite 2021. The event is October 4th and 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I say goodbye to everybody. I think we said enough here, but I'm excited to go. I'm sure everybody else is.
May the best speaker win.
Let the games begin, Howie.
Let's go. It's on.
I guess.
All right, guys.